I am at a cognitive stage of learning, which means that I am at a beginner stage of learning and do not have a lot of knowledge of how to perform the passing skill properly. By using the 3 biomechanical principles properly, this should improve my overall pass. As you can see in my first video, I do not know much about passing a volleyball, which is shown in the accuracy of my pass. By the end of the unit, I hope to have learnt how to apply all 3 biomechanical principles to improve my pass and my overall game. This will then hopefully put me at a higher stage of knowledge and skills on how to properly perform a volleyball pass. When I'm doing a pass, I need to make sure that I'm balanced and stable. I do this by ensuring that I have a wide base of support, which will make me more stable when trying to make an accurate pass to the setter. Also, by having a lower centre of gravity, this will improve the chances of me making a more accurate pass, as I will be more balanced and stable to make the final pass. And finally, by having my centre of gravity directly above my base of support, it will mean my pass will likely be better, as I'll be more stable and not falling over. Overall, balance and stability is mainly used in my skill to improve the accuracy in the pass. If all 3 parts of balance and stability are done correctly, this will help me to make a better pass and have a higher chance of getting the ball to my target. But as you can see in this first photo, when I am attempting to do a pass, I am not very balanced or stable at all. This is because I don't have a wider base of support, which could make me more stable when trying to make an accurate pass. Firstly, I needed to be on the ground when making the pass, and secondly, my legs had to be wider apart to ensure I was stable. Also, my centre of gravity isn't low enough, which puts me off balance and decreases the chance of me making an accurate pass. Although my centre of gravity is directly above my base of support, it doesn't give me a good chance to make a good pass because I am in the air and too close to the ball, so I can't keep my eyes on it from my arms to the setter. When I practice my pass again, I'll make sure that I follow all principles of balance and stability correctly to increase the accuracy of my pass. Whereas in this next photo you can see that I look to be more balanced and stable, ready to make a good pass. This is shown because I have a wider base of support than before by using hip abduction, which makes me a lot more stable and has shown with the ball going to where I want it. I found it a lot easier to make an accurate pass when having a wide base of support because I wasn't falling over when trying to get into position to make a pass. Also, by having a lower centre of gravity using knee flexion, it kept me lower to the ground and more balanced compared to my pre-test where my knees were more extended. This also helped me have a better chance at performing a good pass. And with my centre of gravity being directly above my base of support, it helped me to get under the ball so the ball made contact on the middle of my arms to get a good pass away. Overall, I've improved a lot from my pre-test to my post-test, and I am now confident in making an accurate pass during a game. By correctly using all 3 principles of balance and stability, it has now given me more chance to get the ball to where I want it to go. When I'm doing a pass, I need to make sure that I apply force summation correctly. This is the most complicated of the 3 biomechanical principles in terms of factors that can affect the pass. If I am able to follow the following principles of force summation correctly, I should be able to do a fairly accurate pass. These principles include bigger to smaller muscles. The stronger and larger muscles of thighs and trunk are moved first, followed by the smaller and faster muscles such as bicep and supinator. Correct sequence. Sequentially accelerate each body part so that optimum momentum passes from one body part to the next over a long period of time. Use as many body parts as possible so force can be applied over the maximum possible time. The direction of force. Ensure all forces are directed towards the target to create maximum force. Follow the movement through. follow through is important to prevent deceleration of the last segment and safe dissipation of force. Stable base. Each body part should be stable so that the next body part accelerates around a stable base to transfer momentum. In my pre-test you can see that I do not look like I am using force summation correctly. For starters, I do not have any flexion on my knees, which means that I cannot get a lot of power in my pass and will most likely fall short of the target. Also, I am not using my bigger to smaller muscles first, which would help me get a lot more power as well. So next time I do it, I need to focus on mainly using my legs while making the pass. I'm not ensuring that all forces are going towards the ball either, because the only part of my body that I'm really using when making the pass is my arms, which will minimise the power of my pass. Next you can see that my arms don't make a solid stable base to pass because they are slightly apart, which will make it harder for me to transfer momentum through the ball. Finally, I have quite a poor follow through as my hands don't really follow the ball to the position I want it to. Now in my post test you can see that I've changed quite a bit from before and corrected my mistakes. Now I have a bit of flexion in my knees, which means that I'll be able to get more power in my pass and pass from any area of the court to the setter. Also, this leads on to using my bigger to smaller muscles first, which I didn't do before, so I couldn't get the pass to my target. I noticed that working on my leg position and movement, it helped me a lot from before and is one of the main factors of why I can perform a stronger pass. I am also now ensuring that all forces are going towards the ball as well as working from the bottom of my body upwards. This is used from doing an eccentric contraction. As I eccentrically lower myself, my hips are flexing. My gluteus maximus and hamstring muscles are eccentrically controlling this motion. Also my knee is flexing with my quadriceps eccentrically controlling this motion too. This helps me get the correct force on the pass and be more controlled. Also, unlike before, my arms are together with no space in between them, setting up for a much more solid pass than before. And finally, my follow through is much better than before, with my arms following where I want the ball to go, resulting in a much more accurate pass. Overall, I think my pass has improved a lot by following the principles of force summation correctly, making me a better volleyball player. When I am doing a pass, I need to ensure that the ball follows the correct projectile path. However, some factors that can have an effect on this is the speed of release, height of release, spin, and air resistance. So the main thing I need to focus on when trying to make my pass is the position of my arms. If my arms are too low, this means my pass will most likely go to the ground, and similar if my arms are too high, the ball is likely to go short of my target or possibly even behind me. As you could see in my first photo, the ball doesn't look like it has any chance of reaching my target. Firstly, this is because I have made contact with the ball in a 93-degree angle, meaning that the ball practically just went straight up in the air. Another thing that I've done wrong is that the height of contact is too high, meaning that I do not have a lot of control where the ball goes and cannot get it to my target accurately. Also, since my arms aren't completely flat, it increases the chance of the ball going off to the side and making a bad pass. Whereas in my post test, you can see that the ball looks more likely to go to my target or where I'm aiming to. Unlike my pre-test, I had an angle of 135 degrees from where my arms made contact with the ball. This is a huge difference from before, and by having a larger angle, it made the ball go further. When doing this, my shoulders were in flexion, with my deltoids being the agonist muscle and my latissimus dorsi being the antagonist. This meant that my deltoid was contracting and shortening, with my latissimus dorsi relaxing and lengthening. I also found that this angle was perfect for my height, as the ball didn't go too low and short or high and long. However, the angle may be different depending on what angle the ball may be coming towards you at. Another thing that improved was the height of contact, meaning that when I had a lower height of contact, the ball seemed to be more accurate when I was passing to the setter. Also, since my arms are now completely flat by using elbow extension, it helps me get the ball straight and go to my target. Overall, I felt that projectile motion was one of the factors in completing a pass, but not a main one. But since I followed the principles of projectile motion correctly, I felt that it improved my pass just that little bit more. I felt that the whole part whole teaching method worked best for me when trying to perform the perfect volleyball pass. This meant that I could firstly practice the skill straight away and get a feel for it. After practicing for a while, it helped me realise what I was doing wrong and why my passes weren't the best. Then I analysed my pass to see that some things about it were okay but others needed working on. So after that, I could fully break the skill down and fix minor things that I was doing wrong. After fixing these, I could then continue to do the whole skill in the game and keep working on it. I feel as if this method overall is the best to do for people who have a fairly good idea on what they are doing, and I recommend it to anyone who has any knowledge on volleyball. The three main factors that impacted me the most on learning my skill was weather, facilities and competition. Whenever the weather was bad, there would be other classes that would come into the gym and use it. This gave me less space to practice my skill and made it harder for me to work on. Also, it would be distracting when other classes are running around right next to you to keep focusing on the game and skill. Another factor was the facilities. For example, when I was practicing passing, some of the days we had to use the cheap balls, which I found weren't as good as the other ones to pass, as they were mostly too flat as well because they never got used. I felt that having 3 courts was good though, so we had plenty of space to practice and having different height nets throughout the gym. Lastly, competition impacted my learning of my skill because it wasn't that strong. I struggled to practice my skill when we couldn't get a very good rally going and the ball hardly came to me. Also, since no one could hit the ball hard enough, I didn't really have much of a challenge in trying to get the opposing team's passes up. The 3 main sports psychology tools that impacted on the learning of my skill was visualization, goal setting and concentration. When making a volleyball pass, I had to visualize where I wanted the ball to go to. I also had to visualize when the ball could come from at any time and whereabouts in the court I would have to run to. Goal setting was also pretty big because I set a goal at the start of the unit to be better at passing by the end of the unit. I also set specific goals for gameplay too, such as getting 80% of my passes straight to the setter, which helped me improve my game. And lastly, I felt that I got easily distracted by people around me, whether it was when I was playing a game or just practicing my pass. This meant that I had to stay concentrated on what I wanted to get out of each lesson and to be the best I could be to make accurate passes and improve. I think that balance and stability was the most beneficial biomechanical principle in learning the skill of volleyball pass. This is because in volleyball the main focus is to be balanced and stable if you want to make an accurate pass. I knew this from the start, so the sports psychology tool of concentration helped me a lot. So basically, before I even started to try pass a volleyball, I just ensured that I was balanced and stable first so I could have a higher chance at making an accurate pass. This then led on to the other two biomechanical principles, because if I wasn't balanced and stable there was no way I could complete the other principles properly either. So basically, overall, I think that balance and stability is the most important principle because it is the starting stage which leads on to the other parts of passing. Now that I have finished this volleyball unit, I feel a lot more confident in my ability to make a pass. I think by following all three principles of biomechanics correctly, it has helped me to improve the skill of the volleyball pass immensely. At the start of the unit, I put myself at a cognitive stage of learning because I didn't have much knowledge about volleyball or I wasn't very good. But now I think I'll put myself up to an associative stage of learning and maybe even autonomous. I feel as if goal setting helped me a lot in getting to a higher stage of learning because I knew what I wanted to achieve throughout every lesson, which made me better. Also, concentration was very effective too, because I think that if I had have just mucked around, I wouldn't improve at all or nearly as much as I did. Finally, visualization has got me to this stage as well, because I could see how the pass was meant to be done, so I visualized me doing it, which I finally did at the end. But overall, I think this unit has been great to help me improve my overall volleyball skills and be better than I was before.